And the Shukla Yajur Veda also, one part, first part we have already studied, and the concluding, this is the second part. Now before that, let us chant this mantra. Ya etam devam ekabritam veda sa sarvasmai vipashyati yaccha pranani yacchana tamidam nigatam saha sa esha eka ekabrid eka eva sarve asmin deva ekabrito bhavanti. One alone, in him all deities become one alone. That is the message. Again and again is giving the message of unity, unity in diversity, because the Creator is one. If the Creator is one, then what is the creation? And in this creation, the human being is the best creature. So naturally, what is this human being are? This says like this: Naham manushyo nacha deva yakshaha na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudraha na brahmachari na grihi vanastava bhikshur na cha aham nija bodha sarupaha. Nija bodha sarupa. This is I am what I am. This way we can express ourselves who we are. Actually, we are nothing but the manifestation of the same Brahman. So obviously we have to understand this. So it is just one seat. Can you go there? Because, yeah, that will be all right. Because they are recording, it may disturb. So this is Nija Bodha Sarupa. So this Swarupa, this particularly, this our nature. What is that nature? God. So that is exactly what the Hinduism is. And the Hinduism is based on the Upanishad. Hinduism is based particularly on the Veda. And in the Veda, this is very interesting. When you study the Veda, when you speak about the Veda, we always think about, always talking about the religion, talking about the spirituality. But the realities, the two realities that the rishis, they have not forgotten. From our own experiences also we know that there are two satta. In Sanskrit it call it sattva. Sattva means the existence, the reality. What is that? One is paramarthika satta. In Sanskrit it called paramarthika. Yesterday I was coming back from Dallas and I found the two young men, they were sitting with me, and when I was trying to study this book, then they saw what type of language it is. We can't find it out. I told it is Sanskrit. Then I couldn't read the book. The 2 hours I had to talk with them. What is the Sanskrit? What is the Hinduism? And very knowledgeable people. If you look at them as if, but they know about the Christianity, they know about the Buddhism, and they were telling that, particularly one boy, he was telling that, I am very much interested about the Hinduism. First time I am hearing the name Hinduism. And he was asking, tell me, what is the salient point of Hindus? What is the Hinduism? So like this, then I was telling that oneness, that's all this. So people are very much eager to know about Hinduism. What will happen if we know about Hinduism? Friendship. If we know really about the Hinduism, then the brotherhood and unity will grow. Why? Because the basis of Hinduism is oneness. We cannot say two, we are always one. This is the uniqueness, and most of the Hindus, they do not know. And we have so many thousands of gods and goddesses, so naturally we think, the Hindus think that we are divided, ourselves are divided. No, we are not divided. Only we take the help of those gods and goddesses, those images, those pictures, all those scriptures, all those gurus, to reach to the same goal, the one, but in a different variety. Some people, they like this way to learn, some people in another way. That is, so one is Paramarthika Satya, another is Vyavaharika Satya. These two things are there. What is the Paramarthika? Absolute existence. It never changes. It is always as it is, it will be constantly. And in modern times, we sometimes give the example, suppose we are changing the bulbs, but the electricity remains the same. We are changing the outward things like the body, so we are changing the bulbs. Sometimes it is yellow light, sometimes green, sometimes white. The bulbs are changing, but the electricity, the current is constant. Similarly, Atman that is residing within us, it is constant. But our bodies are changing. Our different, in places we are taking birth, different language we are speaking, different type of culture and food habit. It doesn't matter at all. So that is exactly called Paramarthika Satya. But the difficulty is we cannot all the time remember the Paramarthika Satya. It is not possible. Why? Because the mind is constantly understanding things when we see, when we hear, when we touch, when we smell, when we taste. These are the 5 things. So the rishis, they understood that it is not possible for all the ordinary people to grasp that highest truth. So they have given Vyavaharika Satya. The Vyavaharika means this manifested things, this present day world. In a beautiful way, in a sloka, they are said like this: Asti bhati priyam rupam namam chetamsya panchakam. Pancha means the 5. This panchakam, what are the 5? First is asti, then bhati, then priya. Asti means existence. Asti, 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 existence, existence, existence. All are thinking I should live, I should survive. Why we are thinking like that? Because basically it is there. Otherwise they won't think in that way. I must live. Even an ant is also thinking I must survive, I must live. I have to protect myself. So where from it came? From the original. The person who created us, that is the original, and that is called Asti. Asti means the existence. And then Bhati. In the Sanskrit, the Bhati, the Vibhati, the Bhati means Prakasha. Bhati means expression. The expression, the Bhati, that's called, this is the knowledge. What is expression? How we understand? That's called knowledge. Only through knowledge we understand it. That's called Bhati. So Asti, Bhati, and then Priyam. What is that Priya? In Sanskrit, Priya means bliss, happiness. So it's called Asti, Bhati, Priyam. These are the 3 things which are the expressions or the definitions of Brahman. And Brahman is the Paramarthika Satya. To those who are regularly attending the classes, you can understand that constantly we discuss about the Paramarthika and Vyavaharika, and the Paramarthika, particularly we, the Vedanta Society, we give stress on the Paramarthika. Why? Permanent. And it never changes. I went to Dallas to give the the spiritual retreat on happiness. And happiness, Sukham and Anandam. Sukham means the temporary. When the things are coming to me, I see my daughter, see my son, I see someone whom I love very much, I am happy. After some time, when they are going away, again I am unhappy. So it is all temporary. So obviously, this happiness, which is not permanent, what we will do with that? So that is the teaching. Not that immediately we have to practice it, but it should be in our back of the mind so that we will understand things are changing, but I must prepare myself for the existence, knowledge and bliss. This Brahma, Asti Bhati Priyam, existence, knowledge and bliss. These three are the expression of the absolute Brahman. And the balance two, what are that two? That's called Rupa and Nama. Look at it. When we look at this universe, there are millions of things are there. But at the same time, the rishis, the seers of the old, they have brought it down only to two. What is that? Nama and Rupa, nothing else. The whole thing that we see in this universe is having only the two things, that is, the name and the form, nothing else. Millions and millions of things are there in the whole universe. But how to express it? So how they have made it, brought it only to two, only name and form. And name and form is the definition of the Jagat, of this universe, of this world, and nothing else. So name and form. Whenever there is anything, we immediately give a name. Sometimes astrologers, they are discovering some new star, immediately they will give a name to it. Otherwise, sometimes they give the number, but number is also a name to identify. In the Jagat, wherever we see, whatever we see, the name is there and it has a rupa, it has a form. Different type of forms are there. So that is the reason I went to purchase a cup of coffee, and in here, India it is so easy, you can go and tell, hey, they have only one, so nothing else. Give me tea, so one type of tea only. Give me coffee, only one type of coffee, so no problem. You get that, whether you like it or not, the same thing. But here, so many varieties, and the problem for us who are coming from India, we have to learn the names, and along with the name, the cost also. So how much? So if you say the cappuccino, it is $5. Then this, then it is $2. So according to your purse also, you have to choose Nama and Rupa. Though the coffee, when you are getting almost the same time, but it has a name, it has a form. The Nama Rupa, without that you cannot move, you cannot go. Every time the Nama and Rupa. And in the modern world, all the time they will ask for identity. What is your identity? And you have to take the identity, either the passport or these or that. You have to show the identity, Nama and Rupa. So sometimes I am wearing the Western clothes and they will be seeing my identity. So that's why I always wear this cap, because in my photo, there, this cap is there. So when they see the cap, almost same, okay, go. So identity is that. Of course, now they check the eye and the fingerprint and all that, but not always. So the identity is nothing but the name and form. So what is Jagat? Name and form, and nothing else. So that is the beauty of the rishis. They could think in so subtle way, just like the scientist. When we see something, the scientists, they go to the root and find out what is the reason. The medicines they are giving, understanding what is the root. Suddenly they won't give. They give the medicine, understanding the root of the problem, then only to solve that. Everything depends on the Nama and Rupa. So Asti Bhati Priyam, This first three is the expression of the Paramarthika Satya with its Brahman. And Nama Rupa, these two are the expression of the Jagat. These are the two existences are there. Now we are in the Vyavaharika Jagat. We are in this practical world. We are living, surviving. Every day we are here. So obviously we cannot deny this. So is the Veda talking anything about it? So here we find Vedas which we are discussing are full of wisdom, knowledge and truth. So how you will find it? Today, as we are going to touch some of the portions of the two truths, in the Yajur Veda, the last part of Yajur Veda, it says, Ishavashyam idam sarvam. The last chapter of the Yajur Veda. It says, Ishavashyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Those who have read the Upanishad, they know Isha Upanishad. Isha means the God. And the God, what he is doing? He is pervading, covering each and everything, enveloping everything. Is all everything within that God. In the Western philosophy also, there are these conceptions are there. Everything is in God, God in everything. So Spinoza and others, they are speaking in a different way, but the same thing. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Our Gandhiji told, if only this one sloka of the Upanishad remain, whole Hinduism will remain. If all other things are destroyed, only one sloka is remaining, that is this sloka, the first sloka of the Isha Upanishad, Hinduism will survive. Why? That is the basic. Where from it came? From Yajur Veda. And friends, you will wonder, in the Yajur Veda, how they are talking about the God they are talking. It is not Brahman, it is God. The God, Brahman does nothing, is only remaining over there. Then the function of the Brahman, God, Ishvara. And then comes who the person trying to understand God is called Mumukshu. So the Veda, Yajur Veda particularly, is talking about the Brahman, talking about God, talking about a person, the Mumukshu, the Brahmachari, who is striving to realize that truth. And at the same time, it will be talking about the householder's life and the king's duty and the commander's duty and the prosperity in agriculture, everything. We will just touch those things slowly. Now, everything in this Vyavaharika Jagat depends on what? This Vyavaharika Jagat, this external world, depends on a family. So that is very, very important. That's why particularly in Indian community, Indian society, they developed the marriage institution in a very particular way. They used to go, and in the olden days, they used to go and they used to check the, astrological, the calculations they used to do, whether this lady and this gentleman will be a proper husband and wife or not, all those things. Then slowly, slowly that knowledge they forgot all. But here we find in the Shukla Yajur Veda, in the chapter 7, it says, Ghata ratrihi sabitedam yushantam prajaparti nidhipa devo agnihi tvashta vishnu prajaya samrana yajamanaya drabinam dadhata swaha. So this way it goes. I won't read the Sanskrit because it will be difficult and it will be time consuming. But the meaning they give in this way, O householder, thou art the source of happiness to all. Look at it. If the householders are not there, nothing will remain. Because they are just like the tree and they are supporting the students All the students who are learning, the brahmacharis who are learning, who is supporting them, giving them food and clothing and shelter, everything that is coming from a householder. Maybe parents, but householder. Then the retired people, they are also supported by the householders. Then the whole government, the society is supported by the householder. So it says, O householder, thou art the source of happiness to all. So sometimes the modern people, they think they are modern and they are having some one or two different type of temperaments and they will be demanding. And in the modern society, if you have 1000 people demanding something, they are granted, chalo, okay. But what they are demanding? Destroying the fabrics of the society, that we have to understand. If the family is not there, nothing is going to remain. So the Yajur Veda, in the beginning it says that chapter 7 in the 17th sloka, thou art the source of happiness to all, the begetter of prosperity and the guardian of the treasure of knowledge. Who is keeping that knowledge? These householders only. And from that coming the brahmacharis, from the householder coming the sannyasins, and all the good people or bad people, all they are coming from a family. So that's why one should be very, and then it says that, and the controller of vices, the extinguisher of the darkness of ignorance, the enlarger of pleasure, the pervader in all noble qualities and acts, being charitably disposed towards thy offspring, fulfill thou rightly the duties of the married life and grant stores of riches to the sacrificers. So this is the first thing we hear from. And then we find that in the same chapter 8, page 76, it is talking like this way. Again here it is a different thing. It says, O brahmachari, who has observed celibacy up to 48 years. So the longevity, the lifespan was very big, long. So that's why they used to continue the celibacy, and a learning period was 48 years. And the lady is telling, I who has led a life of celibacy for 24 years, select thee as my husband. So if you read, so much of freedom was there in our society, in the Hindu society, for the ladies, for the girls to choose their husbands. And they were educated too. And that's why they say, this domestic life contributes to thy prosperity, protect it. Who is telling it? An educated lady. She is selecting her husband. So that gives the society, how the society was. Then we find again, marriage of the learned couple is a source of pleasure. They always say that you must give education to each and every one. Marriage of the learned couple is a source of pleasure. Why? Because the progeny, the children, they will also get the same culture and education also. So that is why they are very much concerned about it. O noble persons, may your fine intellect that understands the significance of married life make you well versed in knowledge after the completion of student life, and teach you how to conduct truthful dealings and trained on the path of virtue. May you conduce to the pleasure of the newly married couple through the knowledge and teaching you receive from the learned. So this is the guidance of the married couples. In the olden days, when they used to have the marriage, a learned purohita, who is to stay in the front, they used to tell all these things to them. Now that you are becoming husband and wife, now these are the responsibilities you have to remember. Because from you, the human society, that will be there. Otherwise, if you are not maintaining this, everything will break down. And you say, "O prosperous and handsome husband," the wife is telling, "thou hast been united with me through ties of marriage. Thou art the embodiment of gentleness and the lord of wealth, the master of loyal wife." That means you should be rich before going to. You have to show your bank balance before going to marriage. So this is, you must be the ties, the marriage. Thou art the embodiment of gentlemanliness. I have seen when I was very young, I don't know whether still it is there or not, they used to tease a lot when the gentleman is coming to marry in that family, the girl's family, they'll be teasing that person a lot. He has to maintain the courtesy and the gentlemanliness. So there he had mentions gentlemanliness, the lord of wealth, the master of loyal wife, the son of a father having the knowledge of the Vedas. You, the husband, is a son of a person who has the knowledge of the Vedas. That means you are from educated family. And it says, "May I prosper on all sides following the teaching received at the time of marriage." So the hints that there's a lot of teachings were there. It's not just going and having the marriage. "Will you marry me?" "Yes, I will marry." "Go." Not like that. It was a system that you have to follow, a lot of teachings. So before the two, both are educated, coming together, selecting, particularly the girl is selecting the husband, and then all these teachings from their guardians and senior people, and then only they used to, "May I obtain the imperishable knowledge that resides in the inmost recesses of the hearts of the learned." Now the lady is telling, "Yes, I am going to have a family, but I have not forgotten the ultimate truth, Vyavaharika Paramarthika. I am entering into the family life, I am settling a family, I will be performing all the duties and responsibilities, but I have not forgotten the life, human life is for some other purpose." What is that? Then she said, "May I obtain the imperishable," whom she is telling? To the husband. That means the husband should also agree to perform together, to understand God, the higher values of life. The imperishable knowledge that resides in the inmost recess of the hearts of the learned. This learned means the realized souls. "May I, receiving complete instruction from my teacher, a father unto me." The moment a teacher, the guru, is the father. "The father unto me, realize on all sides the existence of God." Ultimately, it begins from here and ends over there, from Vyavaharika to Paramarthika. The last sentence is so important. "Realize on all sides the existence of God." God is everywhere, all pervading. If you have noticed that the Muslims, when they are praying, at the end of the prayer, they will be looking to the left, looking to the right, looking to the up, looking to the down, to almost to all sides they will be looking like this. I don't know. Most of the people, they don't know why they are doing, but as a practice they do. You know why? To understand God is everywhere. And that is the reason. If you go to the South India, in the temples, you will find that person holding the hand like this is going on turning like this. Why? The deity is here, God is here. He will stand like this, then he will make a round with his hand like this. Sometimes holding the ear also, "Please punish me," like that, I am humble. But they will give a round. Why? God is everywhere. And sometimes our Purohits, after the arati, they will turn and they will show to this. The God is this side. They have done the arati. Then they will turn and showing why God is everywhere. So that is the reason. There is a wonderful couplet. I think I have already told you, and many of you know. Then the one person, he was drinking, sitting in a mosque, the door, mosque. And then someone came and told, hey, this is a holy place, why you are drinking over here? And immediately he said, Sarab peene de Zafar ko masjid mein baitkar, barna ye jagah bata jahan khuda na ho. So those who understand Hindi, you can understand, he said, allow me to drink my wine over sitting over here, or tell me where there is no God. I will go over there. So God is everywhere. That is the conception. There is a wonderful conception. Here, the householder, a lady, a wife, newly married lady, she is telling this. Why? She is learned. So this knowledge is always essential, otherwise it becomes very difficult. And it says, O householder, thou art the source of happiness to all. That we have to remember all the time, every time. O husband, thou hast been accepted by me for married life. This is very important, because now the society totally has been changed. The male folk, they go and select the girl, and then they are marrying that lady. Here, just opposite, they used to select. Swayambara, we have heard the name at the time of Ramayana. This is the time of the Veda. Almost 10,000 years before, that was the society where the women were having so much of respect, and they were all educated. Here they are telling, O husband, thou hast been accepted by me for married life. Thou fully competent to carry on the duties of a married man. Ye, members of my family, full of noble qualities, for acquiring prosperity, protect me and my husband. And when a girl is married, she is going to the husband's family. There she is addressing that family members like this. You are having the noble qualities, you must protect me and my husband, working together like the horses for pulling on this chariot of our married life. So both they are helping each other to carry on the married life. So this is how we find over here. And it says about talk about the girls, and in there it says, so this is already I have quoted over here, and page 81, 30, let me see. In different places it is about the householder. It says, O noble householder, perform rightly thy duties of married life. Veda, we must understand, this is the revelation of God's words. So when the rishis, they are meditating, these words are coming into their minds. Why? For the development of the human society. The human society, you cannot compare with any other, the animals or reptiles and birds. Humans are the highest manifestation. And their society should be like that. From the beginning, they were thinking in this way, O noble householder, perform rightly thy duties of married life. Then serve thy king, fully understand the nature. Perform truly and justly this yajna of domestic life, full of Vedic text and giver of physically fit and spiritually advanced offsprings. From the family comes the children. So physically and mentally advanced offspring, that is the expectation of the society. So here they are telling like this, the perform rightly the duties, and then according to the instructions of the Vedas, that means your holy book. And that holy book is telling so many in other places. I am not just covering everywhere they are giving in this way. Now we come to the chapter 3, where they are talking about the commander of an army. Here only I will see 70. O commander of the army, fearless in the extirpation of foes, thou art accepted as head according to military laws. I am quoting this because in those days also there were rules and regulations, and there were Kshatriyas, and they were protecting the society, and the top of the person, of the soldiers, the commander, they are telling that you have been selected, chosen according to the military law. This exalted position is a source of inspiration for you, because you are protecting the human society, this particular group of people. You have to be very, very careful. Then say, be thou friendly unto all and lead the soldiers. Now the commander, he should behave friendly with the soldiers and also to all. I don't know, as I had heard, one gentleman, so he was telling that Bangladesh war, when the Indian soldiers, they went and helped them, instruction was on the soldiers that you should not do any mistake or atrocities on the local people. That's a great restraint for the soldiers, because that time when you are going over there and you do not know whether you will be killed or not, any opportunity, as they always say, shoot anything that moves. So they will be doing like that. You can understand their behavior, their temperament, the situation. It's a killing field. There you have to maintain the morality. That was the command from the Indian, that person he was telling, that was the command on the soldiers. You cannot behave ruthlessly on the ordinary people, not even with the enemies if they are surrendering. So these are the great restraints. Here they say, be thou friendly unto all and lead thy soldiers, acquire knowledge and suppress the opponents, be victorious in the battlefield, make all free and free everywhere. Now it talks about the kings. Here we find about the king, the nicely they are telling, O praiseworthy king, do not destroy canals, wells, tanks, cornfields and forest. See how they are giving the instructions. Even the kings used to listen to these rishis, and rishis are giving the instruction to the kings what they should not do and what they should do. O praiseworthy king, the first addressing, you are the praiseworthy king. Do not destroy canals, wells, tanks, cornfields and forest. Then he said, protect us at every place. O justice loving king, we take a solemn vow that cows and learned brahmanas, whom thou declarest to be the unworthy of destruction, will not be killed by us. We will stick to this resolve, and so shouldest thou. So these are the things that the king should follow. And we find again O skillful ruler, this art of government is thy mainstay. Thou master of wealth and protector of thy subjects, and the wise people of thine both perform Havan with alertness and determined mind. wisely contribute to the welfare of the state, so should each subordinate of thine on the single signal of thy finger remove enemies from all sides. Let the wicked and the agonizing foe be cast aside, protect thy subjects. O ruler, having loyal subjects, fill with profuse wealth, who does noble deeds, be thou patient like the sun and the earth. Thou art the support of the just. With the moral power of thy justice, may the unjust be suppressed. So friends, these are a few quotations. So many slokas are there which talking about householder, then unmarried ladies, then about the commander, then about the king's duties. And when that came down, then what happened? Avatars came. The people came to keep it in right place. What is that avatara? You know that the one person, he insulted a rishi. Then his son, Yamadagni, and his son went and protested, you should not do it. As a king, you are supposed to give respect. Here you find they are taking the vow that we are going to protect the Brahmanas or the educated people, those who are helping the society. King should give the protection to them. Now, if the king is not giving the protection, naturally the whole society will break down. This person went and told him, and afterwards the king never listened to it. Then that person became the famous Parashurama. The Parashurama punished people, kings particularly, those who were not listening or following the instructions of the Veda. What are the instructions? To protect the people and not to destroy the resources. And here the king, he is thinking he is all powerful because he is having the command of the army and all those. When he is behaving like this, then this person came and he fought against those kings. He killed those kings. After even killing, he became avatara. Why? Because he was placing the dharma, just righteousness once again on the track, which was supposed to be followed by the kings. If you follow the life of Sri Krishna, he is also doing the same thing. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he is not going to the ordinary people, he is going to the kings, the rulers, and then he is asking them to rule the country, to have the subjects happy. Those who were not following, then he punished them. So if we read the Veda, then we can understand the lives of these great souls, the whom we call avatars, Parashurama, Rama, then Krishna, and this. We elect thee as head of the state. This is a wonderful statement in the Veda. About the king he is telling. We elect thee, not select. We elect thee as the head of the state for the betterment of our country's administration, for the protection of the learned, the friendly, and the noble souls. So when you read the Veda, it's so wonderful. All these things were there so many thousands of years before, and very clearly, categorically. And it says, we are electing a king. That is the democracy. So we think that someone coming one after another there as a lineage. No, it all much afterwards. In the society, then when we will be discussing about the Vedic society, maybe this will be discussed once again, there was perfect democracy. They used to elect the commander, they used to elect the minister, and also the king, the ruler, and then giving all the instructions that you are supposed to do like this. Then he said, Kosi, Katamosi, Kasyasi, ko namasi yasya te ittadi, etc. O king, who art thou? Who amongst all art thou? Whose son art thou? What is thy name? We want to have thy knowledge and satisfy thee with wealth. I like the majesty of the earth. I like the majesty of the earth, the space, and the sun, desirous of my betterment, wish to have good subjects like you, be possessed of warlike soldiers like you, be vigorous by the use of life-giving substances. Now, people are asking the king, and the king is expressing his views here in this 29 sloka of chapter 7. It says, king's words I am reading again, I like the majesty of the earth. I want to be the emperor all over. Naturally, any king, always the dream, I want to be the emperor. And the space and the sun, desirous of my betterment. Not only this earth, I like to cover the whole universe as a king. And then he says, wish to have good subjects like you. That is important. Then he is addressing the subjects. I wish to have the subjects like you, be possessed of warlike soldiers, be vigorous by the use of life-giving substances. So, I want vigorous and courageous and loyal subjects. That is the king's prayer. Now, friends, time is short, and we will conclude by the teachings of the. Now, here we were seeing in the Veda how the unmarried women should behave. Whole chapter is there. They are talking about that. Why? That is very, very important. In every society, they take care of the women, the ladies. Even when we will study the Manu, the lawgiver of the Hindus, we will see how they are telling, the Manu is telling, you should give education, education, and education. And in one place, in the king also they say, you should give proper education to your subjects. Then here we find the teachings for the mumukshu. It is not the continuously they have given in different places, in different the chapters, it is spreaded. Sometimes they are talking about the mumukshu, about the king, about the lady, about the householder. So, it is all I have tried to make it in different groups. So, I am searching. Here it says, Vachaspataye Pavasya Vishnay O Shubham Gavasmi Puta Devo Devibhya Pavasya Esham Bhagosi. It gives in this way, O man, for realizing God, purify thy mind. This is not for all. Of course, there is some morality is there for the householders, high moral values you have to maintain. But for those who are seeking the higher life, spiritual life, Vyavaharika, Paramarthika. In those who have selected the Paramarthika life, yesterday those young boys, they were telling, are you married? I don't know. Oh my God, you are not married? Still time is there, you can try. I will thank you for suggesting, but why suddenly? Oh no, this great life, the marriage and all that. Perhaps in the previous life I had already enjoyed all those things. This life I am dedicated, but they were not understanding at all because this conception. So they were telling what we should do. Then I was quoting from here and I was telling, so nothing wrong. So whatever you are following, that is dharma, that is a religious thing for you. But I have chosen my life. That is the life of a mumukshu, to realize God. So this is the path I must follow. And what is that path? The first and foremost thing, purify thy mind. What is the purification? unselfishness. Always remember that purification doesn't mean remembering some of the stotras or the mantras, chanting, not like that. Pure unselfishness. How you can become unselfish? By giving away your ego. The more you are unselfish, the more you are away from your own ego. And that is exactly what the Sri Ramakrishna pinpointed. Lord Sri Ramakrishna said, if you can abolish your ego, you have realized God. The ahamkar, that is the main problem. Here they say, purify thy mind. Just as objects are purified by the rays of the sun. So giving an example. Sometimes in those days, just to purify the things by the rays of the sun. Similarly, what is the rays of the sun? We have to take the meaning in this way, the teachings of the Veda, teachings of the knowledge that we get from the Veda, and then practicing that every time, every moment. I am remembering that boy because 2 hours I talked and so wonderfully. He told, what people do closing their eyes and sitting erect? I told them they meditate. What is that meditation? And controlling the mind. Why should I have to control the mind? I don't try. It is not for you. So then afterwards, when we were getting down, he got up and embraced me. He's so strong person. When he embraced, I was thinking, I am going to break my bones. So he embraced so hard. I never met a person like you. I am liking you so much. He has given me all this, his email and ID. Maybe we will have the correspondences. I also liked him so much. Because the open heart. So this is called the purity of mind. There is no problem. One person is coming to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and he is carrying a bottle of wine, coming to Sri Ramakrishna. And that also in the dead night. And he was knocking, see, I am drunk and I am also having some of the friends with me. Can I sit and talk with you? Sri Ramakrishna opened the door and said, please come. Why? Mind is pure. Whatever he is thinking, he is doing, he is talking, there is no ambiguity. So that is exactly what the God sees. They say purify. So purify thyself with the outward and inward powers of strong king. The language is like this. Shama and Dhamma, you know the 2 words. And we have already discussed so much in our previous classes. Shama and Dhamma. What is the Shama? And constantly remembering that I have a purpose in my life. And the purpose is very, very higher. And that is to realize God. And this is, they say, constantly you have to go on giving this thing inside the mind. That's why when you are traveling, this is the mantra the people they take, that helps. Go on repeating the mantra, and that you will make, by repeating the mantra, purified. Be a learned man, work pure-heartedly for the sages who are adorable by thee. So we are working. For whom we are working? For salary? No. For position? No. For appreciation? No. For whom we are working? For God. And what type of work? Only 2. Understanding that this is the true path and this is giving me all peace, happiness, joy, and go and tell people, you are divine, you can have this. O aspirant after yoga, thou art the master of yamas and niyamas. You know that you have already heard this yama and niyamas. Control thou the internal vital breaths, mind and organs. So these organs you have to control. How? By controlling mind. How the mind can be controlled? By controlling the breathings. So these are the 3 steps of the yoga he is telling. Guard the supremacy emanating from yoga. Remove through the power of yoga all ills arising from ignorance. When we are practicing yoga, the lot of power it comes. But you have to guard that. That's again and again Sri Ramakrishna is telling, be very, very careful. You can do a lot of good to the people, you can harm people also. So be very careful about that. When you are practicing yoga, those powers automatically come, but you should be careful to remove all those, whereby thou mayest obtain supernatural power and the fulfillment of desires. It is possible through yoga. Yogi, the cultivator of purity, adore thyself with the manifold divine virtue of mental peace and contentment. These are the ultimate things. And it said, talking about the yogis, those who are aspirant for the liberation, what is that? That virtues will come, and in that virtue, mental peace and contentment. These two things should have those who are trying to be a religious person, peace and mental contentment. And how the peace can come? I was telling that the Dallas, we are talking about peace, happiness. Then I told, are you in anxiety because you are not going to get the White House? Then they told, Swamiji, we are not competing, and that is why you are happy. So if you have in mind some desire, those who are competing for the White House, go and talk to them, listen to them, see them. They're in great anxiety. What is going to happen to me? All are trying to do their best in their debates. And now we are very happy. We look at them. Suppose I support him, so I feel for him. Okay, not much. So if you have a desire, you have to suffer. If you don't have desire, there is no suffering. So lastly it says, mental peace can come if you don't have the desire. It's for whom? For only those who are trying to realize God, the brahmacharis, the monks who are trying. But it's not for the householders. That you have to understand. The householders, they have different type of teachings. And the prayer to God, it says, that I will conclude with that. O God, for the attainment of yoga, lead us on through the path of yoga to all the secrets of yoga, whereby we may offer thee ample adoration through Vedic text. Thou, the giver and knower of yoga, remove from us the sin resulting from the crookedness of our heart. So this is the prayer, and by that prayer only slowly they can go. And it says, lastly, it says, Samno Mitra, Sambarunaha, Shamno Bhavattarjama, Shamno Indra Brihaspati, Samno Vishnu Rurukramaha. And here the explanations they are giving in a different way. And also that famous Gayatri mantra, it gives in this way, 36th chapter, Bhu Bhubaswa Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargadevasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Again it talks about the knowledge. Knowledge just like the sun. And in the 9th sloka it says, may God, friendly like breathe, be gracious unto us. Like that, when we are taking the breath, it is so natural and normal, we don't care, we don't give the attention. When only there is a difficulty in the high altitude, then only it is, we think, oh, what is happening to me? Otherwise, we don't know when we are taking in, when we are releasing out. All this breathing is so natural. Like that, in a very natural and normal way, God should give His blessings to us. Be gracious unto us. May God, tranquilizer like water, be kind to us. May God, the just, be benevolent to us. May God, the mighty and guardian of the Vedic speech, be comfort giving to us. May the all-pervading God, the vigilant creator of the universe, be pleasant to us. It concludes in this way. We will conclude by this 36th chapter, 9th sloka is a prayer to the God. May God be always graceful to us, giving us this. How? And He is giving the comfort giving to us. And the comfort means the mental peace. So this is the prayer. And friends, this here we conclude this Yajur Veda, and in the next month, in every Sunday, we will be discussing about Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is the fourth Veda. So this fourth Veda, the last Veda, they mostly talk about how in the world people can survive. And by that time, different type of knowledges have already come that has been included in the Atharva Veda. Very interesting. And sometimes the orthodox people, they deny that there is the fourth Veda. They say 3 Veda, that is sufficient. But no, fourth Veda, Atharva Veda is also there. We will study that. But if you have any question, please ask. After that, we will chant the mantra and conclude. Any question? Okay. Then we will chant this mantra and conclude. There is no question means all have understood the Veda. And the moment you understand the Veda, that means you have understood the Brahman. And the moment you understand the Brahman, you are completely fulfilled and there is nothing left. So let that be to all of us. Let us be really fulfilled. And we have to understand this, the family life. And just to conclude, the many people they listen, so for them too, the family life is very, very important. Those who have accepted the marriage life should understand this. And the promises that they have made, never, never break it, because that's the greatest sin. It will be very difficult afterwards. One cannot get peace and happiness if he is not, or they are not, man and the woman following this, because everything depends on that householder's life. So please be careful. Never ever say any harsh words to the ladies, because Sri Ramakrishna said, in them reside the Divine Mother. If you are hurting them, you are hurting the Divine Mother. Even if you are angry, go out, express your anger in different way, but never insult the ladies. They may be sometimes behaving in a different way, but the whole thing, the whole progeny, the whole society, the whole family, the whole human being is surviving on mother. And that is why they call it Shakti. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Shakti. And if we insult that divine Shakti. And as a result, the suffering comes. We don't understand immediately, but it comes afterwards because of the bad karma. It goes along with us. So please be careful. always. Ya etam devam ekabritam veda sa sarvashmai vipashyati yaccha pranani yacchana tamidam nigatam saha sa esha eka brid eka eva sarve asmin deva ekabrito bhavanti. And the other sloka, naham manushyo nacha deva yaksha na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudraha na brahmachari na grihi vanastava bhikshur na cha aham nija bodha sarupaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.